instead of Pinoy, it was his brother, Rodney.
They both pulled guns on me, both of them.
The Williamson brothers convinced Pinoy that 4 or 5 guys were involved, and several of them were already watching his house.
I said, don't hurt my family. I said, I'll do whatever you say. So I went in the house. He followed. He put me in the chair. Donna Decker came in. Dana told me to go with his brother. Rodney and I went out to my truck.
He says, next thing you know, I saw Dana come running. One thing I did notice, he didn't have his hat. Dana said, you know what I'm capable of doing. You're going to go straight home. And if you don't, we're going to rape your wife. We're going to skin her alive. We're going to do the same thing to your daughter. So you keep your mouth shut and you continue to visit our father.
Dana flat told me the only reason he didn't shoot me was on account of his dad. And then he told me to come to his dad's house every day, like I'd been doing, like nothing ever happened. And I did. The very next day, I went to Dana's house. And I said, why? I said, why did you shoot the baby? He said, I didn't want any witnesses. I said, you didn't shoot me in the head. I'm a witness. He said, if I would have shot you, my dad loves you. He said, you're not going to say nothing.
Pinoy had kept Dana Williamson's involvement a secret, even while they were in jail together, because Rodney Williamson was still on the outside, threatening his family.
He scared me. I was scared.
We know from that night the police had questions.
Yeah.
And we know people watching this today are going to have questions. People are going to say, how could he not have been involved?
If it was your family, you'd keep your mouth shut too. Anybody in their right mind would. I wished it would have been me that got killed and not Donna. I mean, there's nothing I could do. As much as I love Bob, my family comes first, period.
When you finished that conversation with Chuck Pinoy, did you believe him?
Absolutely. Because it fit everything I knew about the case. This was the rest of the story. This was the missing link.
When it finally came out that Chuck Pinoy was a victim instead of a conspirator, the charges against him were dropped. Rodney Williamson was charged for his role in the brutal crime.
And Dana Williamson and Rodney Williamson
Right.
are the two you took to trial.
That's right. But now we have an eyewitness. Charles Pinoy.
How did you feel about Chuck being let go?
I didn't like it at all. I personally felt he should spend more time in jail. Because I felt he might as well pull the trigger.
Kavanaugh was certain that Pinoy was telling the truth, but he had a long way to go to convince everyone else.
I had lived and breathed the horror and worry of not being able to prove it. How can I convince the rest of the world that what I came to believe was true?
A Discovery Plus original, 90-Day Diaries.
I hired a fitness instructor. I'm going to lose 30 pounds. Again, a whole lot of work to do.
Don't look around.
Brand new episodes.
I am going to dye my hair at home. Why does it feel hot?
Every week on Discovery Plus.
Exactly what I needed. Some sparkly, fun, dope.
Discovery Plus has more of the 90-Day universe than anywhere else. Don't miss 90-Day Diaries, a Discovery Plus original. New episodes streaming tomorrow.
Among my patients, I often see them have teeth sensitivity as well as gum issues. Does it worry me? Absolutely. Sensodyne sensitivity and gum gives us a dual action effect that really takes care of both our teeth sensitivity as well as our gum issues. There's no question it's something that I would recommend.
Do you push through 4 or more migraine days a month?
Mom, are you okay to play? Absolutely.
Imagine if you could prevent a migraine day before it happens. Take Emgality once a month to help prevent migraine days. It cuts the number of monthly migraine days by 50% or more for
use if allergic to Emgality. Allergic reactions such as itching, rash, hives, and trouble breathing can occur even days after using. Common side effects include injection site reactions. Ask your doctor about Emgality today.
What's my safe line story? I spend a lot of time in my truck. It's my livelihood. So I'm not taking any chances when something happens to it. So when my windshield cracked, my friend recommended Safe Light Auto Glass. It came right to me with expert service where I needed it. That's service I can trust, no matter what I'm hauling. Right, girl?
Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace.
Here's a song about a brawny paper towel. Stand tall, tear small, and stop the waste. Let's save more towels, it's not too late. From a fisted to a lipstick to a hand size plate. Use a little, tear nothing more. Terra Square Paper Towels from Brawny.
This program is brought to you in part by Command. Do no harm.
Command products organize any space with ease and without damage. Command do no harm.
Morning, noon, night. Indulgent, delicious, irresistible. Fancy Feast makes delighting your cat delightfully easy. Every recipe, every last detail. Another fancy way to show your love. Fancy Feast. Try savory cravings, tender break-apart treats cats love. Welcome to the Quaker Breakfast Table. Here, there's a seat for everyone. And delicious whole grains to enjoy. Your way. So grab life by the cup or bowl and nourish it. Quaker Oats. Starbucks Creamer and non-dairy Starbucks Creamer. It's smooth. It's creamy. So creamy. It's Starbucks Caramel Macchiato at home. This changes everything. Starbucks Creamer.
John Tyson's motto was, when better chickens are hatched, we will hatch them. It's why all of the Tyson chicken that bears his name is raised with no antibiotics ever. Every nugget, strip, and drumstick. Keep it real. Keep it Tyson.
Better sleep means a better you with Mattress Firm's Rest Assured promise. You can try America's best mattress brands like Tempur-Pedic and get a $300 instant gift go towards sleep accessories. Shop your way with a sleep expert for these amazing deals. Only at Mattress Firm, America's #1 Tempur-Pedic retailer.
Creepy when you hear branch breaking like 200 feet. I've got tracks down here. I've got legit tracks.
Expedition Bigfoot. New episodes streaming tonight, exclusively on Discovery Plus. Property Brothers Forever Home is moving to a new home on Discovery Plus. Who wants to go throw a party? Get ready to make brand new memories with the exclusive new shows.
That's amazing.
Only see on Discovery Plus. This is incredible. It's all the big reveals.
Thank you.
All the fun. All right, let's do this. All in one place. Watch all new episodes of Property Brothers Forever Home. Now streaming exclusively on Discovery Plus.
5 years after Donna Decker's murder, Dana Williamson, the man accused of stabbing her to death in her own home and attacking her family, was brought to trial.
And here we are, courtroom 960.
Well, it brings back memories.
It was in this very courtroom that you tried Dana Williamson for the murder of Donna Decker.
It certainly was. In fact, I can still see him sitting there. In there, like, flat out dead. Not an emotion or an apparent care. Yeah.
Williamson's lawyers dressed and groomed him to project an air of innocence. He was practically unrecognizable.
Really, everyone affected by Donna Decker's murder sat in here at some point, whether it was on the witness stand or at the defense table or out in the well watching the trial.
And one key participant literally testified from the grave because there was that straw cowboy hat. That was Dana Williamson's hat. And she somehow, some way, made sure that was knocked off. She left a message that resonated in this courtroom.
The atmosphere in the courtroom during a murder trial is so emotionally charged. The victim's family is looking to you, the prosecutor, to be their advocate, hoping to get justice for their loved ones.
Families react very differently to the trial. Some want to be there for every moment, some pick and choose, but you were there even on the most tough days.
I don't ever remember missing a minute. And I want to see justice, no matter what for them.
Why was that important to you?
She didn't really deserve that. And I think that's a big thing that they caught him at least.
Kavanaugh was dead set on landing a conviction for the Deckers. One of the most crucial moments in the trial came when Chuck Noyes took the stand as an eyewitness.
I was hoping and trusting and praying that the jurors would realize the difficulty he had in coming forward and testifying against a psychopath.
After spending a year and a half behind bars, constantly worrying that his family would be tortured and killed, Chuck Panoyan finally made his stand against Dana Williamson. But perhaps the most pivotal moment of the trial came during Bob's testimony.
I said, I have a motion to make. Straight. Request, Your Honor, that you order the defendant Dana Williamson to recite certain words such as cute, words that he said to Bob Decker for the witness to discern whether or not he recognizes his voice. And Dana Williamson said, I take the fifth. And you could hear a pin drop in the courtroom. Everyone in the courtroom knew he did it.
For 5 years, this investigation had followed a path of bizarre twists and turns. And now it had come down to one moment. The moment that the jury returned with their verdict.
Dana Williamson, convicted. First-degree murder, ultimately sentenced to death.
He was. By a vote of 11 to 1.
Had you ever had a death sentencing before then?
That was my first one. A very solemn thing.
What was it like for you when you heard that guilty verdict?
deep, boy.
They finally got it.
A year later, Brian Kavanaugh won a conviction against Dana's brother Rodney. He was given a life sentence. No one really knows what drove the Williamsons to commit such a brutal crime, but justice was served for all.
When you do the right thing for the right reasons, for a greater good, things have a way of working out.
Tell me your thoughts about Brian Kavanaugh.
He was highly devoted for it all. It was every minute was like I was on my personal life. Kelly
Oh shit! I forgot. I thought I had my meter off. Oh.
Kelly, what stays with you about this case?
I thought my meter was off. My fault.
Anybody could have been as patient as they've been over the years. They trusted me. They trusted Brian. I guess those are the things that stick with me.
Thanks to Woodruff and Kavanaugh's tenacity, an innocent man won his freedom. A guilty man was convicted. And the Decker family tried to pick up the pieces and move on. And hello, Carl. We've been talking about you as a little boy and where you are as a man.
Hey, bro.
How have you been physically impacted by the attack that night?
In my right ear, I'm completely deaf, and I can hear perfect in my left ear. Actually, they say it's better than perfect, than most people can hear in one ear.
And what about the emotional impact,
bro.
knowing what you know?
When I was younger, it affected me a lot more as I got older. You know, not so much. I've always tried not to think about the past and, you know, what if. So I've always tried to have a positive outlook on life.
You are your father's son.
Do you think his mother would have been proud of him?
Very young. Yeah.
You really be needing that rest.
Vanishes in the busiest part of town.
Yo, PD, are you here?
No one had any idea where she was.
I was worried. I really was worried. With no witnesses.
There was no report of an argument. It was just silence.
There was only one
Bro.
Is that the only security camera here?
This was the largest amount of surveillance footage I've ever had to view.
But the truth could be hiding in plain sight.
Oftentimes the only witness is unable to tell their story. But in cases such as this, surveillance video can tell their story for them. You're gonna want to take a look at this.
We need to get ball first, man.
December 28, 2010, Seattle, Washington. For 43-year-old Michelle Thornton, it's the end of a long shift.
I can't think of Michelle without thinking of her smiling face. She was just such an open, welcome spirit. Michelle was definitely a part of her for sure. She was one of those people that just enjoyed living.
Hey, bro. They just had the A. I just wanted him to give me that ball, bro. I had 3 guards, bro. Come on, bro. It's simple.
Her 21-year-old co-worker,
Just starting?
Bro.
Yeah, I got that. I was new to Seattle, and so she kind of showed me Belltown and that scene, and I met a lot of people through her. Michelle just liked having a good time. She liked fun people to be around. I hung out with her as much as I could.
Are you still up for New Year's Eve at my place?
Yeah, I can be persuaded.
The party's still 3 days away, but Michelle is already preparing. Expectations are always high for one of her get-togethers.
Michelle had an apartment down in Belltown, which is a really fun going out area in downtown Seattle. So she had a great location. Everybody wanted to go there for New Year's.
Little right in. And I have so much stuff. I got a great new truck.
Oh, darn. I wish.
I have champagne.
I was planning to go, but then I did not actually have a babysitter.
Oh,
You know how I get down, bro.
Sorry.
Like you said last time.
Michelle has celebrated New Year's with her friends ever since her mom passed away 15 years ago.
Talk to you later.
Okay. She missed her mom, so we'd all come together and have some drinks and listen to some music and probably move the coffee table out of the living room so we could dance.
With her preparations nearly complete, Michelle heads out for a bite with her friend, Chuck Cruz.
Are you gonna come and pick me up?
New Year's Eve finally arrives, and Michelle's friends
Good take, boy.
to her apartment.
That's on me.
But there's a problem.
Everyone showed up and she didn't answer the door.
Alright, it's early.
Must be on the phone.
Alright, I got you.
Chuck leads everyone inside.
I thought you had that, boy.
Michelle, we're here.
But still, no sign of the hostess.
Michelle, are you in there?
I was like, well, where did Michelle go? Why is she not here? She invited me over to her house.
Figuring there must be a logical explanation, Michelle's friends head to a bar.
I thought, well, I just wait for Michelle to call. And she never called.
Over the following 3 days, friends keep reaching out to no avail.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
I think everybody that knew Michelle was looking for Michelle. No one had any idea where she was.
On January 3rd, Chuck raises the alarm.
Our patrol officers were flagged down near Michelle's apartment by a gentleman named Chuck Cruz.
I'm real worried about a friend of mine.
He told the officers he was concerned about Michelle. He'd been unable to contact her. She wasn't answering her phone or her door.
This isn't like her.
Officers agree to carry out a welfare check.
When we are conducting a welfare check, all that we're hoping to do is to go in and find whoever is missing.
The building supervisor lets them inside.
Michelle? Are you here? Dallas PD.
If we don't find that person, then we lose it.
Michelle? Check the back of the apartment.
Without a search
Take, boy.
they can only
Good
do a
take.
cursory look around.
Michelle?
But there's not much to see.
Other than being slightly messy, the officers found nothing of a suspicious nature in Michelle's apartment, and they left.
Nobody's here, sir. Sorry.
It's rather common to have a missing person in the city of Seattle, but they're usually found within a few hours or a day or so.
Oh, it's early. Damn it, bro.
On January
My fault,
a
John.
week after Michelle was last seen, her dad makes her his appearance.
He could hit that, though. It's a good shot.
Michelle was reported as a missing person, and a Seattle police detective was assigned to her case and began looking into her whereabouts.
Shot, bro.
Michelle?
I'm shooting her early,
This
that's all.
time, police have permission to carry out an in-depth search of Michelle's apartment. Now, it sounds like someone's home.
The radio was on, which is obviously kind of suspicious. There was no radio on the day before. They immediately pulled the plug on the radio and took a look around.
Michelle?
One of the missing person detectives went into Michelle's bedroom. And then he went over to the closet. When he opens the closet door, you see Michelle's dead body.
immediately called the homicide office, and I was called to the scene.
Timothy DeVore has been with Seattle PD for 20 years, and he recognizes signs of a struggle.
The sofa in the living room was pushed out from the wall. There was clothing near the sofa. There was a bathrobe tie that was separated from the bathrobe.
He then turns to the body itself.
Michelle was laying in the closet on her back. She was nude from the waist down. There was blood on Michelle's face, and it was flowing in the opposite direction you would expect from the polar gravity. In my experience, this suggests that she was actually murdered somewhere else and then put into the closet.
What about these injuries here?
She had marks on her neck that suggested she may have been strangled.
To be killed in this manner, it just seems like one of the most intimate and completely horrible ways to die.
Oh my God, bro.
So far, the last known person to see Michelle alive was her friend shot on December 28th, meaning the killer potentially has a 7-day head start. Patrol officers canvass the building for potential witnesses.
Right, thank you very much. There was no report of an argument or some sort of commotion or a disturbance in the apartment. For all intents and purposes, there was just silence.
But one neighbor provides a potential lead.
That shit crazy, bro.
Contact information for a frequent visitor of Michelle's.
What it really was anger for real. We would have figured out if you wanted to play the paint or if I could play the paint, we would have won for real. It was just miscommunication. That's all. Cause I mean, I got the badge, but shit, you probably, I got just 10 badges, so.
After a long day processing the scene, investigators are still painfully short on leads. But that could soon change.
Is that the only security camera here? I have one out front and then there's 2 out back.
Every doorway is monitored by surveillance cameras. And they record 24 hours a day.
Homicide is a unique crime, because oftentimes the only witness to the event has been killed, is unable to tell their story. But in cases such as this, surveillance video can tell their story for them.
In this building, there's nowhere to hide.
I was positive that whoever murdered Michelle was going to be captured on that surveillance video.
Hurry into Mattress Firm's year-end sale and save up to $300 on our top-rated brand by Sealy. Plus, get a free adjustable base when you spend $6.99 on Sealy. Or get a Sealy Queen mattress for just $299.99. Only at Mattress Firm.
Luxury flag comfort of quilted northern ultra plush. Because every journey to the bathroom should be an extra comfortable one. Wouldn't you agree, fellas? Quilted northern.
Alright, fourth graders, the trick is to add just a little bit of vinegar. Eventually the chemical reaction will stop. Everywhere. Smells like my grandma.
Want to get away? Now you can. With fares starting at $50 one way, new destinations you want to see, and the flexibility you gotta have. We are the Thrivers. Women with metastatic breast cancer. Standing in the struggle. Hustling through the hurt.
Still, bro.
Asking for science, not sorry. Our time, for more time, has come. Living longer is possible and proven in women taking Kisqali plus fulvestrant or a non-steroidal aromatase inhibitor. Kisqali is the only treatment in its class with proven overall survival results in 2 clinical trials, helping women live longer with HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer.
Kisqali was also significantly more effective at delaying disease progression versus a non-steroidal aromatase inhibitor.
Oh, it's early. Hold on, so that's me.
Can cause lung problems or an abnormal heart.
Damn, I shooting that bit early. That bit's slow as fuck. Damn.
Liver problems and low white blood cell counts that may result in severe infections. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including breathing problems, cough, chest pain, a change in your heartbeat, dizziness, yellowing of the skin or eyes, dark urine, tiredness, loss of appetite, abdomen pain, bleeding, bruising, fever, chills, or other symptoms of an infection, a severe or worsening rash, are or plan to become pregnant or breastfeeding. Avoid grapefruit during treatment. Kisqali is not approved for use with tamoxifen. It's our time to continue to shine because we are the thrivers. Ask your doctor about Kisqali, the only treatment in its class proven to help women live longer in 2 clinical trials.
The best ingredients are easy to explain. Like food that's grown from soil and grain. Artichokes and egg yolks have nothing to hide. Unlike acetylcarbonamide, our domain is organic romaine, ancient grains, chunky or plain. Pure for the brain, absolutely anything but mundane. We only sell food we know you'll adore. So icky products are banned from our store. Saying no to that stuff is more than a goal, because that's what makes us whole.
I'm a performer. Always have been and always will be. Never letting anything get in my way. Not the doubts, distractions, or voice in my head. And certainly not arthritis. Voltaren provides powerful arthritis pain relief to help me keep moving.
Stop, boy.
And it can help you too. Feel the joy of movement with Voltaren. This is the Consumer Attention Lifeline with
none of that.
message.
None of that.
Juries have awarded millions of dollars to women who used a popular talcum powder and later developed cancer. One phone call is all it takes to find out if you qualify for a cash settlement. Call now for a free confidential case review. It only takes a few minutes. If you don't win your case, you lose nothing because you pay nothing. Powerful evidence shows the company knew this talcum powder could cause cancer and yet failed to warn consumers of the danger. Don't miss out on your chance to file a claim. This is a time-sensitive matter, so you must call now. If you or someone you know used a popular talcum powder and were later diagnosed with cancer, this could be your lifeline to substantial financial compensation.
Call the Consumer Attention Lifeline at 800-738-5739. Call 800-738-5739 now.
Who is Onision? The story itself is absolutely fascinating.
He was seen as an attractive young guy with a message. He could speak to these girls.
People were coming to his channel, people were looking at his content, people were caring about him in ways that hadn't happened before.
I was 17 by the time he said that he loved me.
The allegations of inappropriate sexual behavior with minors are numerous.
More girls have come forward.
This is predatory behavior. We wouldn't allow it to happen in person, so why do we allow it to happen online?
This case has taken on a life of its own.
I fear for people who go against him.
Onision in real life. Streaming tonight exclusively on Discovery Plus.
Detectives working the Michelle Thornton homicide investigation know that her killer must have been caught on camera.
Good block, bro.
In the hours of security footage recorded at her apartment building.
Okay.
While they wait for the files, lead detective Kim DeVore visits Michelle's father and friends.
Hi, Detective DeVore.
Having to tell a family member that their loved one has been murdered is a very difficult part of my job.
We discovered Michelle's body. I am so sorry.
Bill took a break. He was obviously very disturbed, shaken, broken.
Disbelief went through my mind when I found out Michelle had been killed. I couldn't believe it. I wish I could just
just been there to help her. I saw her start to speak. She was alone and afraid.
We're going to do everything we can, I promise you.
This was a person living a seemingly good life, and a stranger or a known person comes into her apartment and strangles the very life out of her. I wanted to know who did that.
The CCTV footage from Michelle's apartment building could hold the key. And it's ready to view. It starts on January 3rd, when Chuck first brought officers to carry out a welfare check at the apartment. Michelle's friend, Chuck Cruz, is the last known person to see Michelle alive. He told police they got pizza the night of the 28th, and he said goodbye to her at her front door at midnight.
In homicide investigation, talking to the last person who saw the victim alive is essential. Oftentimes, that person is the person who caused their death.
DeVore rewinds to midnight on the 28th to see if Chuck's story checks out. There's no one in sight. DeVore lets the footage play. A family leaves the building. But there's no sign of Chuck.
Oh my fault, bro. He was wide open, my fault.
It appears that Chuck may be lying, and DeVore wants to know why.
I was able to obtain a copy of Michelle's recent banking activity.
It shows money has been withdrawn from Michelle's account at 12:04 a.m. on the night of the 28th.
When we discovered her body, Michelle's purse was missing, which means her wallet was missing. As an investigator, I'm thinking whoever murdered Michelle is now using her credit card.
Come on, bruh.
This is Michelle's apartment. Give the ATM.
Instead of getting pizza, as Chuck robbed and murdered Michelle. Detectives request footage from the bank to find out.
Surveillance system on many of these ATM
He gonna hit that.
is
That's my fault.
capturing you the whole time you're using the card.
I'm supposed to hit that, bro.
It's here.
DeVore prepares to see the face of the
Talking up the damn cord and shit.
It's Michelle. Is that someone outside the building?
DeVore zooms in and scrutinizes the image to see if anyone is lurking in the shadows.
Come on, man. Shot.
Oh.
She was just drawing out $20.
I don't get it.
If Michelle was alive, then why can't they see her in the footage?
Oh, he speed boost.
Okay. When Chuck said he dropped her home.
I don't do that. Okay.
Detectives look again. Now, they widen their search to include the hours before midnight. At 11:35 p.m., 30 minutes before Chuck said he dropped Michelle home, DeVore spots something.
Okay.
Two people come into view. They embrace just outside the entrance before going their separate ways.
Is that Michelle?
DeVore zooms in for a closer look.
I'll tell you what.
It's Michelle.
Game, bro. Good game.
She takes out her keys and lets herself inside. along the corridor, alone. The man's face is out of frame, but the clothes match what Chuck Cruz was wearing, and the footage corroborates his story, that Michelle was alive and well when he dropped her off. Only now do detectives realize what's wrong.
We discovered that the timestamp on the surveillance video was more than a half hour off on the real time.
Turns out,
Oh, swag.
What up, bro?
but as he is crossed off the suspect list, a new
We'll see you at that shooting 3, man.
Yeah, I can shoot, bro. I can shoot a little bit. I got all my shooting badges, but
I hear you.
Phone calls from friends. Many of them were all pointing their fingers at Michelle's ex-boyfriend, George Cruzakis.
That's where shit don't succeed. George had previously been convicted of assaulting
Pick yourself up and try again.
and he had just recently been released from prison when she went missing. So we got
Be down until you catch it. I'm out.
Hey man, Key getting you bucket. He said, fuck your 6-1.
oh,
I knew it.
It's lagging, bro. Oh, I might have to leave this party, bro. I don't know what's going on. This shit. Hey, bro, I don't know what y'all done did when y'all invited me, bro, but I ain't had one lag until I joined this party, bro.
Episode streaming tonight exclusively on Discovery Plus. A Discovery Plus original 90-day diaries.
I'm gonna lose 30 pounds.
Brand new episodes.
Why does it feel fresh?
Every week on Discovery Plus. 90-day diary. A Discovery Plus original. New episodes streaming tomorrow.
It's a dark world.
What's going on?
And senseless murder is the darkest part. My name is Lieutenant Joe Kendall. I made a career of catching killers and closing cases. But I'm not alone in
Oh, these fools are dead, bro.
My new series, American Detective, highlights cases around
He's lagging, bro, the whole
until they
time.
weren't.
I wanted to make sure I got mine.
Murders that were confounding.
Multiple. A Discovery Plus
Oh, what they did?
90-day diaries.
I'm gonna lose 30 pounds.
Brand new episodes.
Why does it feel fresh?
Every week on Discovery Plus. 90-day diary. A Discovery Plus original. New episodes streaming tomorrow.
It's a dark world.
What's going on?
And senseless murder is the darkest part. My name is Lieutenant Joe Kendall. I made a career of catching killers and closing cases. But I'm not alone in
Oh, these fools are dead, bro.
My new series, American Detective, highlights cases around
He's lagging, bro, the whole
until they
time.
weren't.
I wanted to make sure I got mine.
Murders that were confounding.
Multiple instruments are used. The knife, flashlight, the vape.
Downright disturbing.
He won't even shoot the ball, bro. It's lagging so bad.
Detectives that were tenacious.
I searched every square inch of that house.
And tough. The ones the bad guys hate.
Hyper criminals. They sneak up behind people from the dark side.
Like I said, it's a dark world.
American Detective with Lieutenant Joe Kendall. All new series. Only on Discovery Plus. Stream what you love.
Following the murder of Michelle,
Look at that, he ain't even passing the ball, bro.
investigators think they may have spotted her
It's lagging so bad, bro. I can't even do this, bro.
George Cruzakis stepping into the apartment building on December 30th at 2:20
That's
p.m.
one of them, bro.
we know that Michelle went into her apartment alive, and we know that she never exited that apartment alive.
He keeps his head down as he walks inside towards the elevator. Could this be their man?
She got me mad, bro. It lagged my damn game out, bro.
There was a lot of pressure on me to go out and arrest George.
But police can't track George Rizakis down. So now, investigators want to narrow down Michelle's time of death by searching the footage and seeing when she appears on camera.
Part of this investigation was not knowing when exactly that Michelle had died.
The current window is from midnight on December 28th, when Michelle arrives home with Chuck, to January 6th, when her body was found. More than 200 hours. With 4 cameras to study, that's 800 hours of tape.
This was the largest amount of surveillance footage I've ever had to view.
It's a massive task. After hours of searching, an investigator spots something.
This shit getting worse. Look at that shit.
At 12:48 a.m. on December 30th, the night after Michelle had pizza with Chuck, a woman leaves the building through the side exit. It could be Michelle. And then, 10 minutes later, the same woman approaches the front entrance. It's definitely Michelle. And she could be carrying a clue.
What's that in her hand?
DeVore switches to the lobby camera for a better look.
Is it fear? You reckon she's not alone?
Michelle is carrying what appears to be a six-pack into her apartment at 1 a.m., leading detectives to believe she has company. But the man believes
look at that shit. Look at my fucking internet acting up.
13 hours.
Feel like them niggas cheating me, bro.
Only one person can explain what's going on.
I knew that we needed to talk to George.
DeVore doesn't have to wait long, as Michelle's ex-boyfriend turns himself in.
We asked him to provide details about where he was during the time that Michelle had been murdered.
Can you kind of fill in where you've been with my girlfriend at a hotel? She came December 6th, and we've been together ever since.
Bro, I don't know which listen, bro. I don't know which one of y'all messed up my internet, bro. Which one of y'all in here cheating, bro?
Hey man, I had to hit you with them parfaits real quick, man.
No, don't play with me, bro. You know damn well if my shit wasn't lagging, you wouldn't have did all that.
You really testing my gangster right now,
bro. Y'all seen my man running out of bounds and everything. Y'all, that couldn't be me.
Hey, bro.
Bro.
Left the party, I started lagging even more. You come back, I ain't lagging no more.
Oh no, you got me set up.
That's the PlayStation trade off.
Y'all tripping, y'all cheating your boy, bro. I'm about to restart my internet, bro. Y'all cheated your boy, bro. Y'all cheated me, bro. I can take a L.
Y'all playing against each other or something?
Yeah. That's why she's so toxic.
No, we ain't playing. We cheating against each other. That's what's going on. This is not a friendly game. Somebody's cheating, bro. Like, I played y'all earlier. No lagging, bro. I ain't had no lag. Y'all invite me to the party chat. I started laughing.
Hey, bro. What invited you?
That's tough.
And he taking theirs with you.
Oh.
Alright, so I got a question. Who in here think they can go to Call of Duty yet?
D. Shot him a shot.
Rob, start the question back over. We're gonna answer for real this time.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
This nigga here,
Whoever may say shot him a shot in a game, I think he the shit right there. He said, ain't no my shotgun. AJ, remember that shit? You like, hey bro, what attachments you got in your shotgun? I don't got nothing. You lying. Kill me and find out. Bro, we had all tight. We had flaming rounds. We still couldn't kill this nigga.
Go to Newtown, shoot me through walls and shit. I said,